tournaments the next week, full of tournaments. As soon as I can.
We need more tournaments.
The tournament count is too damn low.
Ohana.
Too damn high. I mean,
I don't know. We do them like every day.
what's going on, everybody? Who are we gonna watch? Who are we gonna watch, Homie G?
Looks like spawning in the top position of Ohana LE is going to be the yellow Zerg eFragWebz with that awesome cool decal. Spawning the bottom position is going to be the tealish Protoss, spawning as BCNSpades when the Baconators did unfortunately lose game 1 to that deadly 11-minute Roach Max.
Deadly. Yeah, that was, and it was. I feel like the game was almost over before the 11-minute mark. That I feel like he was like he switched into it at like 10 minutes, and it wasn't. It was kind of like instead of a max roaches, he went for it a little faster. Didn't have as many roaches, but they came around 10 minutes, and that's a really brutal timing.
Alright, that time is that precious time where Protoss is almost finished with their teching to kind of storm and teching the Colossi, and then at that time there was only one Colossus out. He did micro that Colossus very well and kept it alive for a very long time, but it just was not enough for those mass amount of roaches.
Yep, buddy.
Roaches, good unit for the win.
Yeah, I see someone in chat is mentioning you're using the ladder map additions, and I think he's saying like, why would you use the ladder map additions? Really, it's up to the players what additions they want to use. If they want to use, you know, MLG or any of these other editions, what I would prefer though is to keep it ladder versions. You know, like Ohana and all these ladder maps. However, it can be any versions. I don't have any preference unless the player does. And I'll go ahead and take. Then we'll go ahead and do that. It's kind of up to them, but the tricky part is they don't know that per se. So it's kind of just by default we are using ladder maps right now.
Yeah, it's whatever map the loser picks, as long as it's like been a ladder map before, and it like as long as it's not like free-for-all maps or things like that, which I'm pretty sure people aren't really gonna pick.
And we are seeing a 1-gate expand. It looks like, and this might turn into a 2-gate expand. I wouldn't be surprised to see a 2-gate expand. However, I would be pretty sexy to see a 1-gate expand going on here. And look at this. We are going to see the third. I mean, we are going to see the hatchery, the natural hatchery, going down in the third position, meaning he is going to grab this natural hatchery really, really fast. I do want to get the timing of this hatchery that goes up.
That is true. Normally, whenever somebody takes your tries to mess with your natural or throw like a pylon down or whatever, you just go straight to your third and try to get your natural as fast as you can, and it's sometimes it's actually kind of a benefit. You're just getting really 3 bases faster than you normally would like to, but that however does, if for early pressure, it does kind of hinder you of any real forces per se.
Yeah, what's really sexy is it kind of a really fast robotics facility going on right behind this. This might I kind of hope we see an expansion going behind this robotics facility, as we may see an observer chrono boosted out. What's really nice about forcing your opponent to take his distant third is that he grabs his natural so frackin' fast, and it actually kind of forces the Zerg to be a lot greedier than he may be comfortable with.
That is true. That is very, very true. It is forcing you, and it can almost kind of mess with your head. It's kind of because you're thinking, well, he did that. Now he knows I'm gonna have 3 bases a bit faster. Is he gonna try to early pressure me? And that's why I think we're seeing a bit higher link count.
Webbs is being really, really active with these links. We saw him scout just around the entire map, and I think he's very confident right now that there aren't any proxy pylons going down. I think he is going to be able to see this little glimmer on the map. Don't know if he sees it though. He might not. I don't think he's going to know that the robotics facility tech is up quite yet. Little composition looking exactly like what a 4-gate would look like, but it looks like we are going to see a 3-gate robo on 1 base. This is a little non-standard coming from BCNSpades.
Yeah, very, very non-standard. Right now, Frax has no idea really what Spades is doing. All he sees is the gateway, the cybernetics core, and the pylon, and he didn't see pretty much everything. He did see the gas, but that was a long time ago, and I don't think it really matters anymore. I think the really key thing right here is this Robo Bay or this robo facility. And I think right now, I think it'd be really cool to see some immortal drops. Would be pretty interesting. But right now, he's just gonna kind of go for this really um, heavy force early game, because he knows that there's not as many units due to the fact that he did take his natural pretty fast.
Now, this observer isn't being shy at all. I think right now, Webbs, if he didn't see it before, I think he definitely sees it now, that the robotics facility is the one base tech of choice for BCNSpades. But what do we have here? Just look at the saturation, man. It's like he's barely saturated. He's not really saturated on 2 bases quite yet. All of this larva is going to an army so that he can defend. I think he's well aware that, yep, I see this Overlord at BCNSpades natural, and he's well aware that this is one base shenanigans coming at us, and I think that he thinks, if he can hold this off, there's nothing stopping him.
Nothing. There's a nice amount of speedlings going across the map. They do engage. They do pick off one of these really low health zealots. Nice proxy pylon's going to go down for spades at that third. That's a very key moment. These zerglings are going to engage some nice force fields, but they're not good enough to block off the ramp. They were very valiant, but there was a little hole kind of left in the ramp, so they did not fully get that ramp. Although, even if that would have kind of hit the ramp, there would have been the other side to come up on.
Man, very tough engagement right there. A lot of links falling, but a lot more are going to go ahead and wait at the third hatchery. Finally, these spine crawlers are going to come up. They're not going to actually be able to join in the battle, though.
No, I think they're actually all just going to go down. Oh, what a nice round. This Immortal's going to go down very fast. All of these drones are off, not doing anything. They just started attacking. There's the GG.
GG indeed.
There goes the Baconator.
No!
Oh,
Say it ain't so.
Lost.
Say it ain't so.
No.